I didn't let them do their job. That's what I'm supposed to do? That's stupid. That's ridiculous. This was not an attack on him, but we felt it was very disrespectful on how he came about it and how we, even before you even knew it was a thing, we were asking him repeatedly to leave. And literally, he wouldn't even talk. He wouldn't even say anything. He felt like he could just stand there.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. So in this video, we're going to watch this short clip from, I forgot this guy's name. I'm not even going to lie to you. This is the guy that's speaking on behalf of Carmelo Anthony's family, right? This is the guy that they had speaking at the public press conference. Now, we're not getting an update surrounding the case within itself. It hasn't been any new releases around the case, but we do have a quick little, I don't know what to call this, but this guy is basically responding to the backlash that he got for kicking out the father of Carmelo Anthony, or the father of Austin Metcalf, right? The victim's father, from the public press conference that the family of Carmelo Anthony was having, right? That's the last thing that we saw, was they had a public press conference and the dad decided to show up, and this guy right here decided to kick out the father. Now, in this video, what I want you to pay attention to, what I want you to see, and the reason that I'm bringing it, is the amount of gaslighting and irony that this guy is going to display. This guy is so stupid that he doesn't even realize that he's making a case against Carmelo Anthony's own self-defense that they're trying to play out here. It's insane. But anyway, let's not waste any time getting to this clip here.
At the end of the day, when we were trying to secure this facility and secure the press conference, I asked our security staff to keep a lane open straight to the podium so that the family can come in and go right back out. Let me say this. The Anthony family didn't even know that Austin's dad was even in the facility. They didn't know that Austin's dad was here until he was actually removed by DPD. One of our security people asked him to move back. He looked back at him like he was entitled, or like he didn't have to move, whatever it may be. We didn't even know who he was at this time.
Yo,
we just asked him to step back.
You hear that? Yo, am I tripping? Isn't that what happened in the situation? Didn't they ask Carmelo Anthony to allegedly step back, step away from the tent? They didn't know who he was, right? This is the same argument. This is so crazy that he doesn't see this playing out the same exact way. By his logic, Austin Metcalf's dad is justified in stabbing somebody because you guys told him to leave because he wasn't there, right? You told him to get out of there. So that's the same scenario that happened with his son. So if you're defending Carmelo Anthony and saying that he is allowed to, and justified in stabbing somebody because he was told to remove himself, well, so can Austin Metcalf's dad. Yo, this is crazy. This is actually kind of crazy.
Then one of the members of the media told us that, hey, that's the dad. I said, the dad of who? I said, who? What? He was like, yeah, that's Austin's dad. I said, I know you lying. Like, what? He can't be here. And so what we initiated is making sure that we secured the facility. Let me make this very clear. The Anthony family didn't even know he was here. But how do we know what he came here for? He didn't come and asked or come to us and said, he just stood there. We didn't know what was going on. We didn't know if we started the press conference, and I'm not accusing him of anything. We didn't know if he was going to pull out a gun. We didn't know what we didn't know.
Yo.
But at the end of the day, will we just wait and just say, oh man, just let's start the press conference? We didn't pat anybody down coming into the facility. We didn't look at everybody. We didn't know, y'all. But these YouTubers and TikTok and all these people started to rush to judgment. I'm being insensitive. I'm being this. I have a press conference with a whole media press corps in a family that I have to ensure the safety of.
Wow.
NGAN had at least 12 people on our security team that day. We could have removed him if we wanted to. We could have literally done that. But no, what we did was we tried, because of the sensitivity of the case, allow DPD to handle it. If anybody that was there, no, we didn't lack security, right? But where he came in and approached, we could not allow him to stay there. Not only outside of the fact that this is a current pending criminal case, right? And the press conference was about the Anthony family and their use of funds. The funds that they have not even received yet at that time.
Boom, let's stop right there for a second. That's exactly why they didn't want him there, because you just heard it. We didn't lack security. So it wasn't for security reasons that they decided to move the dad, right? Because if that was the case, they would have checked everybody that they let in. If it was about weapons, if it was about safety, they would have patted down everybody after deciding to pat down or check Jeffrey or whatever, right? But that's not the whole case here. That's not the reason that they don't want him there. It's what he just said. It's because it's about Carmelo Anthony and Carmelo Anthony's parents. They can't sit there and paint themselves as the victim while the actual victim is there. That's why. The whole time during the press conference, they sat there and painted Carmelo Anthony and the Carmelo Anthony family and his parents as the victims. That was the whole purpose of this press conference, right? It was a public press conference, first of all. So he had every right to be there, just like everybody else had every right to be there. But you guys didn't want him there because your whole agenda for that press conference was to sit there and paint his parents, Carmelo Anthony's parents, as being some type of victims. But you cannot do that while the actual victim stood right there. And this was such a big missed opportunity. This was such a great opportunity for the Carmelo Anthony family and Asdtx Metcalf family to come together in solidarity and unite this country, where it is so divisive right now, especially based around race, where if you had these families here and this guy right here come around and put these families together, they both are grieving, they both technically are losing their children, right, senselessly, but the parents are victims. They both are victims. But the way that these people or this guy right here went about it was completely wrong. Your dismissiveness of the family, the demonization of the family and the father appearing at the press conference tarnished all of the credibility that you possibly had. If his dad showed up to the press conference, you should have been like, come to the stage with us. Come to the stage with us. Because that's what the dad did in the beginning, right? He wasn't trying to blame the kid. He wasn't trying to blame the parents. He said, don't make this and turn this into some type of racial narratives. The father said that. So this would have been a great opportunity for this race hustler to bring this guy up and build some type of solidarity and unity with the family. But once again, he's a race hustler. So he can't build any type of unity and turn this into something more positive than it is, because that's the grift here. He can't make any money off of that. He has to paint the family as some type of victim, and he has to be there, the one to advocate for them. This is the Al Sharpton Jr. This is Ben Crump Jr. This is what they do. He's just next in line. This is Roland Martin Jr. Race hustlers are not there to fix racial problems. Race hustlers are only there to exacerbate and make racial tensions even more crazier, because that's how they fund their little organizations. If this was a black and black case or a white on white case, you think Next Generation Action Network would have been there? You think Next Generation Action Network would have stood up for a black family victim that was victimized by another black kid? Absolutely not, because there's no grift in that. That's why you don't see any of these race hustlers marching up and down Chicago in these majority black communities where black people are getting killed every single day, right? You would see BLM marches every day if that was the case. But there is no money in that. There's no grift in that. There's no donation in that. Because you can't mobilize a whole group of people based on race if the victim is the same race. You can't. But if it's white on black, oh, it's easy. It's easy. That's why you see now this whole situation with the police officer, right? White police officer, black kid. Even though we seen that the black kid was running from police, he was in a stolen car, he had a gun allegedly, right? But the tribalism that these people are blinded by causes them to not think logically. And these race hustlers literally benefit off of that. This is their business plan. This is their business model.
So it wasn't really about the particulars of the case. It was about these false narratives that came out about how they were using their fund. That's it. It was talking about Carmelo's school, whether he'll be able to graduate. It was talking about the threats to their home. It had nothing to do with the particulars of the actual case. What went under the tent? What did this on this rainy day? What's this? What's that? It has nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with what the Anthony family, the mom, the dad, the siblings were experiencing. And so, yes, we asked for him to be removed, not only for just our safety, but also his safety too as well. We don't know what we don't know. And at the end of the day, what do? Wait until something happens and then stand in front of a camera and say, man, I'm sorry. I hired 12 people to be on the security that day. But you know, when it came to security, I didn't let them secure. I didn't let them do their job. That's what I'm supposed to do? That's stupid. That's ridiculous. This was not an attack on him, but we felt it was very disrespectful on how he came about it. And how we, even before you even knew it was a thing, we were asking him repeatedly to leave. And literally, he wouldn't even talk. He wouldn't even say anything. He felt like he could just stand there. That's not right. It was very upsetting to me. It's not right. Because if you're coming here for, I heard somebody say he was coming there for prayer. He was coming there to come and hug. Well, that wasn't the spirit that we got.
Yeah, we're going to stop right there. I can't listen to this guy anymore. I keep losing IQ points by every second that goes by. But you heard it there. It was about the Carmelo Anthony and Carmelo Anthony's parents. And that's why he had this press conference and couldn't have the father there. You heard it from his own mouth. But the irony here is just so stunning. It is absolutely crazy. The amount of cognitive dissonance this guy is experiencing. Saying that he was just there. He shouldn't have been there. We don't know why he was there. He should have left when we told him so. Is the same exact thing that's going on with the case. This is just so crazy that this is playing out in the same exact way that the original case is kind of playing out. But for some reason, he doesn't see the irony. He doesn't see how the logic is very contradicting to each other. If Jeff Metcalf is not supposed to be at the public press conference and he was told to leave, then Carmelo Anthony should have left the tent when he was told to leave. It was really that simple. So if you cannot exercise the same logic equally on both sides, then you're not a rational person. You're not. You're not a rational human being. You don't know how to reason properly. You don't know how to apply logic in the right context, in the right way. This only applies to people that he associates himself with that are the same skin color as him. That's why it's okay that Carmelo Anthony was in a place that he's not supposed to be because he's black. He can go wherever he pleases and chooses. Nobody should be able to tell him where he can and can't go. Right? Nobody should be able to tell him to go sit in the back of the bus. But Jeff Metcalf, no, you can't be at a public press conference pertaining your son that was unalived. Yeah, you can't come there. You're not allowed to. The irony is, oh my God, it blows my mind. Anyway. Let me know what you guys think. Let's talk about this video in the comment section. Hit the like button down below, guys. It really helps the channel out. And of course, if you are brand new, consider hitting subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.